guys, Lydia here from Vintage Nectarines. Today we are going to do our first December daily video, and I have decided to do traditions and cookies kind of at the same time. If you're looking at this is the December daily prompt and printout that Amber created for the December Daily Challenge that she and I are doing together, and that is Amber Crawley here on YouTube. I will link her channel below. And if you're confused as to what we're doing for the December, I will have both of the videos that we created, Amber and I, linked down below as well, that explains kind of how we're doing our December dailies. So today we're going to be making this really cute gingerbread journaling card, and I will take you through the steps of how I made it. So because I am using this as my guide, I'm going to go ahead and mark off the two that I'm doing today, and just kind of write the date down so that I know when I did them, because I would like to keep this in my journal just as kind of, you know, a little memory. So we're doing cookies and we're doing traditions. So December 1st. So we'll go ahead and put that aside for now. If you're a good artist, you could absolutely draw your own gingerbread, or if you have an adult coloring book like the one that I'm using, which came from paper that I got from Amber in my Advent package. This gingerbread house used to be on this page here, and I cut it out, and today we're going to be working with this one. So you'll need some sort of a gingerbread illustration. You'll need some way of coloring your gingerbread house. You could use watercolors, you could use markers. I just like using good old-fashioned colored pencils, so I'll be using those today. You'll need a piece of lined paper to use for the journaling section. Any kind of embellishments that you would like, they're not necessary. I used them on this one to add a little bit of pop to the Christmas tree and the door handle. I put one up here and I put one right there to show like a holly berry on the roof. We'll need some glitter. Today I will be using white for the snow. So, all right, let's get started. First step is you're just going to color in your gingerbread house however you want. So I'm just gonna go ahead and start coloring this with my brown. I love coloring, and I'm so glad that they made adult coloring books. I remember loving just sitting for hours and hours coloring when I was a kid, and my mom and I used to always do it together. And I still really just enjoy it. I like doing it with my daughters. And so, yeah, I think these adult coloring books are really just a wonderful idea. And I'm so excited because Amber sent me several pages in my little Advent package. So I'm not going to worry about kind of coloring around these because I'm coloring so light. I'll just be able to go back over these little details on the gingerbread house. That is something that you would want to, you know, be a little more careful with if you were using markers and maybe watercolor paints, or maybe less careful with if you're using watercolor paints, because then, you know, it could be just kind of a design element. Amber recently just made a whole bunch of ephemera pieces using this same coloring book. I will link that video below as well so you guys can see that. And she used a watercolor technique where she basically kind of just let the colors bleed on the paper. Which definitely gives it kind of like an old vintage paper look, and I really love that. I definitely want to try that with one of the coloring pages that she sent me at some point during our December Dailies challenge. But this time I opted to be a little more specific with my coloring. So I'm just going to be cutting out this house, so we're not worried about any of these. And as you can see, I already kind of cut off a little bit of this snow over here on the peak because it was on the first one I made, but that's okay. We can kind of round that a little bit, and once you add the glitter, it won't matter. I'm just going through and doing my first light layer of brown. And now that I have the first light layer of brown, I'm gonna go back in and do a little bit of shading to make it a little darker. As you can see, I'm not being very specific with where I'm doing more shading, you know, under the snow, of course, to make it look a little bit like there's a shadow on the house, but kind of just wherever. And I do that simply because, you know, when you make real gingerbread, the gingerbread never cooks completely evenly. So you do have some areas that are darker. And so it just kind of makes it look a little bit more like a gingerbread cookie. So I'm not gonna color the door brown with this brown anyway, because I want that to be a little bit of an accent. So I'm gonna leave that and come back to it. Now I think I wanna color these like little peppermint candies. So I'm just gonna go ahead and color in every other square here. And you could, of course, you know, color the other little triangles with a different color. I think I'm just going to leave mine white so that they do just look like little red and white peppermint candies. I'm gonna take a darker red and just kind of go in and do a little bit more shading. Shading is the key. Something one of my art teachers in college taught me. All about shading. It adds definition. Oh yeah, see, that's cute. Okay, now let's see, what color do we want these little pieces? On the other house that I made originally, I made them green to kind of look like holly, so I don't know that I want to do that this time. I'm going to change it up a little bit, so I think I might do those blue. Oh yeah, that's cute. I like the blue. Yeah, I like how that pops out from the brown. That looks really pretty. Okay, got that done. And I think I'll go ahead and make this one up here blue as well. Now the wreath I will make green like I did on the other ones, just because to me that's absolutely what it looks like and I like it being green. So I'm going to take a lighter green and kind of just do two dots. I don't know if you guys can see that. So I colored in two and then I'll skip two and do two more, and then we'll come back in and do the two that we skipped with a darker color of green. And to me, that just adds a little bit of depth and detail and doesn't all just make it one color. And this is the fun part. You can just play around with it, do whatever you want. There are no rules in crafting. So I'm gonna come in and do these ones now darker. Yeah, I like that, that's fun. See, so now it's different colors. Okay, so let's do our door. You know, I really like how the door on this one is red and brown, and I kind of think I might want to try something similar here. But maybe we'll do it pink instead of red. So let's see, I think we'll do the outside in the pink and then maybe these in brown. So yeah, we'll just go and color this part pink. And the best part about doing these gingerbread houses is that, you know, if you think about it, when my kids make gingerbread houses, they are crazy and colorful, and you decorate them with, you know, gobs of frosting and all different kinds of candies. And so coloring these gingerbread houses all crazy is very, in my opinion, realistic to how my kids would color theirs. So I like just adding all the fun colors. I think I'm gonna go ahead and make this little part pink as well, but I'm gonna leave that part white for the moment, and I'm gonna come back in and add just a tiny bit of kind of like a greenish blue to make it look like it's glass. So now I'm just gonna go in and add a bit more shading. And I'm just doing a little bit of shading with this pink because I will go ahead and get my darker pink here in a second and go over it with that. So I'm gonna now come in with this one and just add a little bit more depth. Okay, now I'm going to take my darker brown and just go over these little dashes in the door, just to add a little bit of color. And I actually went ahead and added a little bit of red to the darker areas as well. Just to give it, again, some more detail. And you can make these as detailed or as simple as you want. You know, whatever style you prefer, it's totally up to you. I think now I want to go and make this inside wood the dark part. And we'll add a little bit of a lighter brown to that second part of the door. So I'm just going to go in and make this a real rich looking brown, almost as if the gingerbread got all baked up. I'm going to go ahead and finish coloring this, and then we will move on to adding any sort of decorative pieces we want and the snow. So I'll meet you back in just a minute. So I have it all colored now, and it's fun, and I think it goes really great with this one. They're both bright and kind of fun, funky gingerbread house colors. So the next step is to just cut this one out. So we're gonna go ahead and do that. So, you know, just follow the line. I'm not gonna worry so much about this one, so I'm just kind of rough cut around this snow right here, and then I can come back in and fix that up. And you may have noticed that the snow on the top of the house is still plain and white, and that's because we're gonna add some glitter, because glitter makes everything better. If you don't want to, use scissors to cut this out, if you want to be really specific about, keeping these pieces, which I'm not overly worried about. I mean, because I could still use that if I wanted. I could still use this piece for something. But if you want to be really exact, then of course you could use an X-Acto knife. I'm not too worried about it at the moment. And I'm just going to round that a little, and here as well. So it kind of makes that edge that I had cut off previously look a little more intentional. So now I'm going to come back in and cut this out. Again, if you wanted to be a little more exact, you could, of course, use an X-Acto knife. I'm not that concerned. Okay, so we have that all cut out. And because this edge is kind of the flat edge, we are going to use this one as our flip up piece for our journal side. Now, the back of this does have a decoration on it, so you could color that if you want. I'm not going to, I'm just going to leave it. You can go ahead and add the glitter now if you want, and then go back and de-stress it. I prefer adding the distress ink now, just because it makes it easier for me to hold on to the piece without worrying about getting glitter all over the place. So I love actually just kind of pulling the de-stress ink up onto the color. So it definitely just makes it look a little bit more like the edges of the gingerbread house got really extra cooked. I just think that's kind of a fun little element. And I'm gonna go ahead and just de-stress the top of this as well, even though we will be adding glitter. But you by all means don't have to do that if you don't want to. So, and again, just making sure I get all of that. I'm just gonna kind of go around this side a little bit more. So there's that. At this point, you could either do the glitter or the paper for the journaling card. I'm actually going to do the paper for the journaling card first. How I do it is I just take my piece of lined paper, I put my little gingerbread house down, and I kind of just trace around the shape of the gingerbread house. And then I'm just going to go ahead and cut that up. Okay, now that we have it all cut out, you can see that it fits the shape of our house. And if there's any like little pieces that you can see that you don't like, you can go back and trim those in a minute. So now we're going to need a piece of cardstock or a manila envelope. I'm just going to go ahead and use this little piece right here. So we just want to make sure it's roughly the same length as our the side of our gingerbread house that we're going to mark. So I'm just going to go from the top of the house to the bottom here and just mark a little line so I know where to cut. So I'm just going to cut in, and this doesn't have to be precise. There's like no exact measurement. You just want a rectangle piece of paper because we're going to go ahead and fold this in half. So just fold it in half. And then because mine has the pattern on it, I'm actually going to fold it this way again and use it. So you can just, trim this up a smidge if you want, just to make it a little more even. And I'm just gonna make mine a little narrower. Okay. Now what you've done is create the little flap piece for this to attach to so that it can open up, and when it opens, your journaling piece will be on the back side. So go ahead and get either your glue or your double-sided tape, and we're just going to attach it to the back of the house. Just like that. And now I'm just going to go and stick it on right here, making sure that it doesn't go off the side of the house. Okay. Perfect. So now what I want to do is attach this piece to it so that when it opens up, your little house journaling card is on the inside. As you can see, once you put it on, it does definitely go over a little bit. So you can cut this side down just a little bit to have it tuck in more to the card, so there's not quite as much to cut off. See, that's much better. The only place you can really see it is a little bit up here and then down here, but I don't think I'm even gonna worry about that because it's gonna have glitter. To go ahead and just attach it. So we're gonna put a piece of double-sided tape on that. And just like that, we have our little flip open journal card. Okay. Now let's get on to embellishing it and adding the glitter. Okay, so I'm going to get out my glitter. I love this pack of glitter. I'm just going to be using my white. Get a piece of paper to put it on once I have it. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to open up my Elmer's glue, and I'm just going to very lightly go over and kind of just pushing the glue around on where the snow is. So I'm so excited that Amber and I decided to do these December dailies. I can't wait to see all of the fun things that she sent me to use, and I can't wait to see what she makes using the things that I sent her. One of my favorite things about junk journaling and paper crafting in general is that, everyone kind of interprets it differently. And I mean, you could send somebody the same exact stuff as what you're using, and their project would look completely different. And I really just love that. So I'm just going back to make sure I have it covered the way I want it to be. Okay. I'm just going to dump my glitter on. And I'll just let it sit for a second. I think it's so cute. I love my little house. Perfect. See, now look at the snow. It's all glittery. Okay, let me clean up my glitter really quick. Okay, the last thing I'm gonna do is add some little jewels like I did to the first one, just to give it a little bit more pop. I think I'm going to add a red one to the wreath like I did on the first one, just to make it look a little bit like holly. I'm just gonna use a little one. Just go ahead and stick it right here in the middle. Yeah. And I might add one. I added a blue one up to the top of that house, and I made the inside of this one kind of yellowy, so I might add a yellow one up there. Yeah. And I think last but not least, well, I don't know, actually. I was gonna say I might add one to this snowflake, but if I add one to the snowflake, then they're all kind of just in a row. And I don't know if I love that. So maybe I'll put one on as a door handle. Yesterday I did the black, and I don't really like it because it doesn't really sparkle a whole lot. So let's see. We could do a pink one. That could be fun. Or maybe a purple one. Ooh, I kind of like the purple one since there's purple here. Yeah, we're gonna do purple. Or do I like lighter purple? Ooh, I like lighter purple. Okay, so we're just gonna take a little purple one and add it for a door handle. Perfect. All right. And just like that, my first December daily is all finished, and I love them. And I like that they both flip 2 different directions. So there's this one. Oh, you know what? Actually, I think in a little bit, I'm gonna go and add some distress ink to the journaling card because I like how that looks on this one. So, but there we go. Thanks for hanging out with me today, guys. I hope this was a fun video to watch, and stick around for the next December daily. And if you're new to my channel, I am also doing Vlogmas videos of my family the whole month of December. So like I mentioned in the beginning of the video, Amber's channel is linked below, as well as the instructions and kind of information about how we are doing our December daily. And if you would like to participate, we would love that. We've created a hashtag that you can use, and it's December Daily with Amber and Lydia. I'll put it on the screen right here so you can see it. But we would love to see the things that you create with our prompt if you're going to be using the ones that we have. So I'll see you guys soon. Bye.